August 5, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2002 chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. Pre-market, it just kind of went sideways. There's this big sell-off. You could say it's probably 3 legs down, but I saw it as one big leg. Kind of a bounce, pullback. Looks like it was 2 legs up, then 2 legs down. The only economic data that came out today was the ISM Services PMI, which came out at around 7 a.m. Pacific Standard, which is about right here. I put down news. And even though there looked like it was kind of choppy, there were just mainly a lot of first entries and not too many second entries. I did mark a few trades. I took one trade, which unfortunately was a loss. But then after that, I didn't really see any other trades worth taking. So I'm going to get into the chart right now. So pre-market, it was just kind of choppy. One leg up, pull back, second leg up, leg down. Kind of like looked like choppy, not really 2 legs up, but it hit a pre-market high. Looked like it was a spike and then a channel downwards. And then on the open, it kind of pushed up. EMA is acting as resistance. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long. This isn't a good second entry long. It's a bad signal bar. You do have multiple tests. You know, if you drew it a little bit higher, it looks like it's 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, but that's still not good enough for a trade, especially with the EMA coming down. It was a triple test here, or multiple tests, depending if you drew your support line a little bit higher. But again, there's no clear justification. You can say it's a new low, first entry short, second entry short failure, but you're going to be buying into this potential EMA right here. So no trade there. Pushes up on what I think is this yellow up channel. There's just kind of a first entry long, count resets because this one's actually slightly higher than this. Then you have a first entry long and that's all you get. Pushes up, pulls back down, say first entry long, second entry long, signal bar is an inside bar, it's a red bar, no real trade there. Prices then break above the EMA, pushes down. You could say it's a visual first entry, pullback second entry, but this is right about where the news was coming out about the ISM manufacturing PMI. So this is kind of a area that you got to just kind of stay away from because this whipsawed really quickly between this candle and this candle, and then this candle. This is all within about 30 seconds, a little less than 30 seconds, just because from here to here is only 12 seconds, then from here to here is 20 seconds. So this happens very quickly. Technically, you hit a new low, it's a first entry short, you have a second entry short, but this is your signal bar. It's not very convincing. Then the follow through trigger bar, which would be this one, doesn't give you much confidence either. It does break below, but it closes up high. Prices start moving down, kind of hits a low. I established this gray trading, well, it actually was a trend line first, and then later I turned into a channel because it didn't really quite fit too well here. But then later I just let it have a break, a small break, because it fit pretty well much later. The new low, it's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. Unfortunately, this wasn't the right signal bar, but it looked like it is a rejection of this gray down channel resistance. And then you get a confirmed second entry short here. So now I'm looking for a lower high, ideally below the EMA. And you don't really get that. It just kind of continues downwards without any setup. Prices continue moving. Technically, you have a new low, first entry short, second entry short. Looks like you have a lower high setting up here, but it doesn't quite hit the EMA. And if you're shorting, you'd be shorting into the low of day, which looks like there was some kind of support here. So it's a one touch. Technically, these three haven't touched, but they're all at the same level. There's just one more tick below and you hit this. So it'd be risky to go short right there. It pushes down, bounces around. Normalize this. Okay. Starts pushing down. Right now, this gray down channel, I adjusted it and looked like it was fitting pretty well from my initial trend line. No clean second entries here. Technically, you have a new low, first entry short. You have a second entry short here, but this is your signal bar. And when you saw this in real time, you wouldn't have been thinking going short. I don't have this orange down channel drawn yet. Until I get to about right here, then I establish this orange down channel. It's actually a little bit higher, supposed to be a little higher. No clean second entries. It just looks a little congested. It's inside the middle of my gray down channel. So it's a little hard to trade because you're not bouncing off of here, getting rejected off of here, or even the EMA. So you just have to ride this out and unfortunately take no trades. Pushes up, hits the high side of this gray down channel. Technically, you have the new low, first entry short, and that's all you get. You have a new high, first entry long, and you don't get a second entry long. And if you did, I'd be weary of taking any longs on a clearly bearish downtrend. So seeing this, I'm only thinking of trying to look for setups to go short. Unfortunately, nothing sets up. New first entry short, and that's all you get. Kind of hits the low side of this gray down channel. There was a spike here, but that was because of the news. So I kind of had it a little bit higher just to include this touch. The overall, as the day goes on, sometimes on your chart, your channels or your ranges will sometimes migrate a little bit. It usually happens on any non-horizontal lines that you draw. So it bounces, just kind of keeps going. First entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short, but you're not thinking of going short. You do have a potential triple test, but seeing this, I'm not really thinking of going short because there's not that much room to try to scalp something. Plus, it doesn't have a nice signal bar, which is down. So now I'm trusting or I'm believing that everything is moving in this gray channel pretty nicely. I'm looking for any prices moving back up to the EMA or ideally back up to the high side and setting up. But I'd be hesitant to try to take any longs off the bottom here because it's clearly a bearish day. We have a first entry short. So I'm thinking could be a second entry short setting up here. There is a second entry short here. So it's a new low, first entry short, second entry short. I actually should have marked this. Possible trade here. And it broke. Hard to see, but it actually broke above and came down. So there might have been possible trade here. But I was actually thinking prices are going to make one move up, pull back, second move, ideally hit the high side. So I was looking for a measured move confirmation, something like this. So it almost got there. And it looked like if you did take this trade, at least for 2 points, it would have been a losing trade. Yeah, it didn't even make 2 points. It made about 7 ticks, and you need 8. Actually, you need 9. So this would have been a losing trade. Prices then break out for the first time of this gray down channel. Comes back down, pushes up. And I actually saw this as a new high, say first entry long pullback. This creates a hidden second entry long because it pulled back, moved up, prices in the same candle tick below, and then push back up. I did have this preliminarily drawn as a trading trend line going up. So it might have possible trade here, and it would have worked for a 2-point scalp. But I just wasn't too sure about this first entry, second entry. I wanted really a higher low above the EMA and bouncing off the EMA because you can tell the first push down broke below the EMA. The second push up now is above. So I like it if they're both above the EMA to trust the second entry long. So it's a possible trade if you're more aggressive, but I just kind of wanted to wait. But it would have been good enough for a 1-point scalp. Bounces off this support, and at the time I had this actually drawn as a channel of this type. But breaks through, I think it is a failed breakout. Technically, you have a new low, first entry short, second entry short, but these are all green bars, so you're not really thinking of going short right now. Pushes to the high side. It dwelled quite a bit outside, so I actually dragged this up to here. Bounces again, pretty nicely off this support. First entry long, pull back. You don't get a second entry long, it just kind of runs away with you. I was thinking maybe there's like one leg down, pull back, second leg, but it didn't really set up anything nicely. It's just getting choppy. There is a potential triple test, but this isn't a very good signal bar. Follow through is terrible, plus you have a doji now. This is just very congested. Look at the size of these bars, plus their bodies, which are tiny. So this is just telling me to sit tight. Don't try to see if any trades are here, because it really isn't. It's kind of hard to read. I was thinking in a trading range, there's a potential fail breakout. I did not expect this huge move. I didn't see any news item that came out. It might have been I don't know, maybe something political or something said that caused this big knee-jerk reaction. Continue downwards, so no trade here. You could have said there's a new low, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short, but this is hard to catch. If you look at the timestamp on this, this happened really rapidly, so I don't really know if you would have been able to catch this. New low, first entry short, second entry short. It's the inside bar that your second entry short's made right here, but nothing here would tell you to get a trade ready to go short. Looks like it's pushing in this smaller trading range, pushes up. I saw this as a new low, visual first entry, pullback, second entry. I had this red drawn as a trend line. It wasn't really quite a channel yet, but it looked like it was a possible second entry short because it is a one touch, two touch, three touch, four touch rejection. The only thing I didn't like about this was I wanted a better close, but definitely it looks like it was two legs up from the bottom here. Potential additional fail breakout of this developing range. So you could have potentially taken this trade. I'm looking for a lower high, ideally with a push back into here, back into this trading range. And unfortunately, you don't get it. It pushes all the way down. You get a triple test, but triple test, it's if you had a good triple test, you'd think you'd go long, but there's a fail breakout here. I'm expecting a symmetrical breakout on the low side. Pushes back out. And actually, this is where I set up my one and only trade. So it looks like you're coming from a triple test, clearly at bottom of the trading range. Looks like there's one leg up, pullback, second leg up. But it also looks like there's one big push up, pullback. This could be the very big second push up. It's getting rejected off this red trend line going down. Each subsequent swing high is lower than the previous. So it's making lower highs all along the way. So I was thinking, okay, this could be pushing back down, at least here. So this might be good enough for a trade. So I entered one tick below here. Immediately the trade's working against me. I'm still alive. And then here it stops me out. So I get stopped out right above here. Pushes up and out. Potential failed second entry short right here. So new low. First entry short. Second entry short. Second entry short failure. It's an almost trade though, because I'm still thinking prices may come down through here. There's a smaller break of this purple. Tested the high. I'm thinking prices might potentially come back down. So I call it a failed second entry short almost trade. But in this case, it kept working. And I discovered potentially it's moving up this green up channel. First entry long, pullback, second entry long, not a good signal bar to go long. Looks like now this might be a spike and then a potential channel going up. It's pretty nicely. You only get really first entry longs here. Same thing, you really only get first entry shorts. Moves down on this yellow down channel, pushes back up. So I'm looking to the left. Things are getting a little confusing. Clearly at the beginning of the day, it was sideways. Then it sold off really strongly. And unfortunately, there was no clear way I could see to get in on this. Then it bounces. Maybe a trade here is a little more aggressive. This trade, this second entry short would have lost, at least for me, for a 2-point scale. Pushes up, and it just gets a little choppy. Second entry short. I tried to take a second entry short thinking that this is a potential trend line or trend channel going down with lower highs every time. So now I'm just watching this unfold, and it's getting a little confusing. Pushes up in the screen, up channel break. Technically tested the high, coming back down. It's bouncing off the EMA. Technically you have a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. So the second entry long I thought might have been a possible trade. It's a break of the screen up channel. Technically it's tested the high because it's still first attempt pullback. Might be a second attempt here. Decent signal bar. It's only 8 ticks. Maybe worth the trade. And it looked like it was 2 measured legs going down because I had those drawn previously, but I've deleted them just to clean things up. So it makes a pretty clean measured leg down. EMA is holding. Looked like it would have worked. Prices push up. Again, you really only get first entry shorts or first entries. Technically, you have a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. I'm not a fan of this doji. Pushes down on this yellow down channel. This is sideways consolidation. Then it looks like it's starting to drift below and out. I end up drawing this yellow down channel because it fit nicely here, but there's no third touch confirmation. And then there's pretty nice touches down here, but there's maybe three touch confirmation, but there's like an imbalance. There's a bullish bias, nothing down here. Now there's a bearish bias, nothing up here. Looks like it could be a two-tier channel, which is you have a first entry short, second entry short, didn't touch the EMA. And then the next subsequent bar didn't break below, so there's no real trade here. When I see this, any idea of going short, I just abandoned now because I'm thinking first entry short, second entry short. Look for a lower high now. Technically, you have a lower high here, but this isn't a good signal bar. It didn't quite touch the EMA. It closed higher than it opened, plus past the halfway point. So I'm not thinking of going short. You don't know that this is going to happen though. And then you don't see that this congestion pushes back up. So if you did take a trade, you would have probably gotten stopped out by this candle. It's noisy, pushes down. Looks like it's obeying this two-tiered yellow down channel. New low, first entry short. Technically have a second entry short here and a second entry short failure. But this also break of this orange up channel has tested the high. It's just a little confusing for me. So I'm leaving it alone. I'm gonna move sideways. Looks like it's a break, two legs up. I'm thinking the uptrend of this is played out. Technically, this yellow down channel needs to test the low, but I don't have that much confidence in this yellow down channel because it looks not as clean as could be. Because as I said, there's a break and there's like open space, open space, open space. I need something tighter where more prices are really moving through the whole channel. Technically, you have a new long here, new high here, first entry long, pullback. You might have a second entry long here because the fail breakout here, fail breakout here, but I don't like this inside bar. Then the follow through never broke above this guy. So any thoughts of going long definitely has been extinguished. And then any thoughts of thinking is a first entry long pullback, second entry long failure, because it hasn't even created a second entry long, is also just kind of put on the back burner. You're just sitting here and waiting. You technically do have a first entry, second entry long here, first entry, second entry, potential failure, could be a fail breakout or excuse me, could be a fail breakout, prices moving back into range, or it could be a breakout pullback. I'm not sure, so I'm just waiting. The prices move down. Kind of fits loosely in this red transparent down channel, but plus we're hitting the last 10 minutes of the day, so definitely not going to be taking any more trades now. First entry short, second entry short. Technically, you have a lower high here, but again, you only have 7 minutes left. Pushes down, kind of pushes into the close. So overall, there was some price action, there was some movement, but unfortunately, it didn't translate to very many setups, if any. I did take one trade, and unfortunately, it was a loser, and I wasn't able to find another trade after that to try to recover some of the loss. So hopefully tomorrow, I mean, prices have been starting to slightly pick up, volume as well. But it didn't today, especially, didn't really translate to any good setups. I'm hoping for a day like last Friday where things were pretty volatile, but also price action was easier to read. So hopefully that was helpful.